If you don't choose, I will shatter. These are not just words born out of desperation, they are the very truth of my soul. Do you know what it means for a man like me, a prince who was raised to stand unbroken before kingdoms, to admit that one woman alone holds the power to undo me? It is not weakness, it is the deepest kind of surrender, a surrender I give only to you. The world sees me as untouchable, someone who commands armies, wealth, and respect. But what they do not know is that behind all of this grandeur lies a heart that has bent itself entirely around the thought of you. And if you were to turn away, if you were to leave me in the silence of your absence, I would not simply hurt, he would fracture into pieces so small that not even time could mend me. I have fought wars in silence, battles no one could ever see, but none of them compared to the war raging inside me when it comes to you. Every glance you give me is a promise, every hesitation a wound, every word you speak a prayer that I hold close. If you do not choose me, I will not just lose you, we will lose the very air that keeps me alive, the rhythm that keeps my heart beating, the anchor that holds me steady. Can you imagine a life where I continue to smile, to walk among the people, to wear the crown, while inside I am nothing more than broken glass scattered in the dark? That is the future that awaits me, if I do not have you. You are not simply love to me, you are the definition of existence itself. To the world, love may be a fleeting feeling, something to be written about in poetry or sung in songs, but to me, love has your face, your voice, your soul. Without you, the throne would feel like a prison, the palace like a tomb, and every sunrise like a cruel reminder that life has gone on while mine has ended. Do you see now why I say I will shatter? It is not a threat, it is a truth I cannot escape. So when I stand before you, begging with the rawness of a man who has never begged before, know that I am giving you my all. I am placing my heart in your hands, knowing you could break it in an instant, but trusting that you will not. For if you do not choose me, my world will not simply dim, it will collapse entirely, leaving nothing but ashes where once there was light. And I, a man the world believes unbreakable, will be left undone forever. I stand before the idea of losing you, and it feels like standing at the edge of a cliff with nothing beneath me, but endless void. My life, my name, my kingdom, everything that once felt certain suddenly seems fragile, meaningless, as though they were illusions I carry only to distract myself from this truth, that none of it matters without you. People speak of power, as if it is the ultimate treasure, but what is power in the absence of the one heart I long for? What is the worth of a crown if the one person who makes me feel alive refuses to walk by my side? Even gold turns dull, even victory feels hollow, when your face is not there to soften the hardness of the world. There are nights I cannot sleep, and in the silence, my mind is haunted by the thought of your absence. I imagine you walking away, your back turned, and I swear it feels worse than any wound I have ever endured. A warrior can bear pain, a king can endure loneliness, but a man who has tasted love cannot survive its loss. I wonder if you know the weight of this choice you hold in your hands, the way your yes could build me into something greater than any legend, and the way your no could tear me down into ruins. You think perhaps that I would endure, that I would continue as before, but you do not see how deeply your presence has entwined with my soul. You are not simply part of my story, you are its very center. Remove you, and there is no story left to tell. And so I confess to you with a vulnerability I would never show another soul. If you deny me, if you place your hand in another's, I will not rage against the heavens nor curse your name. No, my undoing would be quieter, crueler. I would smile before the world, play my role, wear my crown, and in the privacy of my chambers, I would crumble piece by piece, until the man they once knew is gone, leaving only a shadow. That is what your choice means to me, not preference, not possibility, but life and death in their most human form. For in the end, it is simple. You are the reason my world carries color, the reason my heartbeat feels like more than mere survival. I am not begging out of weakness, but because love has taught me the greatest strength is to admit that another person has the power to complete or destroy you. And you know you carry that power over me. Every time I think of a life where you are not mine, the world around me loses its edges, as though everything has blurred into nothingness. The air feels heavy in my lungs, my chest constricts, and I am left with the suffocating truth that my existence without you would not simply be empty, would be unbearable. People say I could conquer nations, bend armies to my will, but none of that would fill the void left by your absence. Without you, every victory would turn into dust in my hands, and every sunrise would feel like a cruel reminder of what I have lost. There are moments when I imagine you standing beside me, and in those moments, I feel invincible, as though the weight of centuries of expectations and burdens would finally become bearable. Yet just as quickly, fear creeps into fear that you might walk away, that you might decide my love is not enough to bind you to me. That thought alone has the power to unravel me in ways even my fiercest enemies could not. I have faced blades, betrayal, and wars, yet none of them have pierced me the way this uncertainty does. Do you know what it means to hold a man's soul so completely in your hands? You have the power not just to uplift, but to destroy him with a single word. That is what you are to me, the hand that steadies or shatters. And so I wait in this torment, knowing that your choice will define the course of my life. If you choose me, I will live not only as your prince, but as a man reborn, a man who will worship every breath you take and guard every step you walk. But if you turn away, if your heart refuses mine, then what remains of me will not be recognizable even to myself. I will still wear my crown, still play the role expected of me, but inside I will be nothing more than an echo of the man I could have been with you. My ladder will be hollow, my strength an act, and my soul a fractured ruin. I do not say this to frighten you or to force your hand, I say it because it is the truth, a truth I can no longer hide behind pride or silence. My heart has already surrendered to you in ways I cannot take back, and now it rests in your keeping. Whatever you decide will either save me or condemn me, but it will always belong to you. Even in the deepest abyss, even in the darkest silence, it will whisper your name. When I let my mind wander into the future, I see two roads stretching before me, both carved out of my own heart. In one, you are beside me, your presence turning even the harshest winters into warmth. I see you walking through the halls of my palace, no longer a guest, but its queen, your ladder echoing against the marble as though the walls themselves are rejoicing. I imagine the way your hand would fit into mine during endless nights when the world outside demands battles and decisions, and yet the only victory I would care for would be the one of holding on to you. With you, the weight of the crown would not feel like a burden, but like a purpose, because ruling without love is nothing more than breathing without air. But then there is the other road, the one that haunts me more than any battlefield I have ever stood upon. In that road, your absence hangs like a storm over my life, and every step I take feels heavier than the last. I would still play my role, still smile at the world, but the hollowness inside me would gnaw at everything I am. People would praise my victories, yet I would feel no triumph. They would cheer my name, but it would echo emptily, for what is a name worth if the one person I long for no longer whispers it with love? I see myself sitting on a throne that feels colder than stone, ruling over a kingdom yet unable to rule over the chaos within my soul. Without you, every feast would taste like ashes, and every sunrise would be a cruel reminder that the day has begun without your touch. Sometimes I wonder if you truly know the power you hold over me. It is not the kind of power one can seize or demand, it is something you've woven into me without even trying. You have unraveled every defense I once built, not with force, but with something far more dangerous: gentleness. I have been surrounded by people who wanted me for my crown, for my influence, for my power, but your gaze does not hunger for what I can give you. It pierces straight into me, stripping me bare until I am not a prince or ruler, but simply a man who craves the shelter of your heart. That is why losing you would not just be a sorrow, it would be a devastation. And yet, I am not blind to the risk of such love. I know that to offer someone your entire soul is to place yourself in a position of complete vulnerability. But what choice do I have? My love for you is not a matter of will, it is as inevitable as the tides pull toward the shore. I could fight it, resist it, pretend to be stronger than it, but all I would be doing is lying to myself. You are my truth, the only truth that feels worth living for. If you were to turn away, I would not rage against you, but I would be left shattered, pieces of myself scattered where no one could ever put me back together. There are nights when the silence of my chamber becomes unbearable, when even the stars outside seem to mock me with their distance. I sit by the window, staring into the darkness, and all I can think about is, I would walk through halls filled with gold and power, yet every step would echo like a reminder of what I have lost. No crown, no wealth, no kingdom could ever fill the void carved out by the absence of your love. What use is it to rule empires if the one soul I need most refuses to let me in? You may not realize it, but you have become the pulse of my existence, the unspoken rhythm that drives me forward. When you speak, I feel the world steady itself. When you laugh, I feel as though I have touched eternity. When you look at me, I see myself reflected not as the prince the world demands me to be, but as the man I long to become. You hold within you a power that no army could match, the power to turn me into the best version of myself, or to destroy me entirely with a single word. And yet, I do not fear it. I surrender to it willingly, because for the first time in my life, surrender does not feel like weakness, it feels like freedom. Still, I know love such as ours is not without its shadows. I know the world will whisper, judge, and question what they do not understand. They will try to measure our bond with their shallow eyes, failing to see that what binds us is deeper than years, stronger than time, more enduring than any law written by man. They will never know the nights where I wrestle with my own fears, where I wonder if I am enough, where I imagine the cruel possibility of losing you.